What is up, Sworn Nation and people of the world, people throughout the globe? How are you? My name is Brian Pulido. It's Hanging with Brian, the 2025 show brought to you by Coffin Comics Sworn Club. Are you a member of the Sworn Club? That's awesome. If you're not, there's a lot of reasons why you could be and should be. First of all, you get a crazy cool membership kit, including all kinds of goodies. Whatever's going on back there, I can totally hear it, and it's distracting. And then other things, including membership card, other stuff, and a 24-hour advantage on all Coffin Comics news, and a 1-hour advantage on the great majority of all Coffin Comics promotions. So this is an informal conversation between you and I, talking about pop culture musings, and it's a great chance for a Q&A. One thing I could do as a tease is right here on my phone is a commitment from a very major new talent for a Lady Death cover. And I am not going to tell you who it is, but here it is. I'm reading the email. You're going to love it. I know I'm going to love it. Very exciting. So, pop culture musings. You know, I don't know if we had left off where we left off in December, but I saw this movie called Azrael on Shudder. Did I talk about that? It's great. So definitely check it out. Probably what I liked about it is no one in the story spoke. So the great majority of the movie, you know, they might grunt and stuff like that, you know, because there's a lot of action and horror in it. The only human being that spoke from the main character's point of view, that person was simply speaking gibberish, which is really cool. But I recommend that one. Right now we're watching some other stuff, American Prime Evil on Netflix. In our household, we do like the director Peter Berg. His stuff is very kinetic, it's very over the top, it's very melodramatic. And this is a imagined time in the Old West, and it's super violent. I laugh at these super violent Old West shows, like, what is it, 1823 or this one? It's so violent, how has the human race survived? Because if someone sees somebody, they kill them. And how do people become adults in these worlds? Because they meet each other and they wind up killing each other. Anyway, this is a re-envision of all the conflict between, let's say, Mormons, U.S. government, Native Americans, people just trying to get along. And the main element of the story is a woman and her child trying to get to a certain town to meet up with the father. And this woman is actually wanted for murder. And she ultimately winds up being guided by the actor Taylor Kitsch, who's really doing a good job as a white man who was raised in Native American culture. So he's kind of has that interesting duality, but super violent, really intense stuff. On a whole different note, let's see, any comedies? Because we watch everything, right? I don't talk about this that much, but Francisco Pulido and I are big fans of Survivor. We've probably watched the great majority of every season. In the last about year and a half, we really fell in love with MTV's The Challenge. So, you know, it's a little mix of melodrama and sports. It's fun. Anyway, that's just a little taste of what's going on. Let me think here. You know, I haven't seen some of the obvious stuff. I haven't seen Longlegs. I haven't seen The Substance, but I'm about to see those, probably likely this week. I'm actually checking another film, what's called 10 Years After. It's another post-apocalyptic one. But I guess the thing that has been delighted me recently is I read the beginning of a book series called 1 Second After. And this was originally published in 2009, and the premise is very simple. It's saying, what if there was an electromagnetic pulse, a series of nuclear warheads exploded over the major areas of the United States, rendering all electronics useless. And this story is what happens in the first year. And it takes place and told from the point of view of a retired Navy professor and lives in a small town called Black Mountain in North Carolina, which apparently is real. And what happens? And I gotta tell you, it's devastating. Now that is the first in a 3-book series. I'm reading another book right now, but man, I can't wait to get to the next ones, and I highly recommend it. It was, if you like that kind of stuff, I love post-apocalyptic. And then I guess, so I recommend it. And then one other, MGM Plus, which is another streaming service, had a 6-part series called Earth Abides, which is the adaptation of the book, which I read as a teenager. and this is a 6-part series. I loved it. I admit to you, I will be vulnerable in front of you and told you that I cried like a baby at times. There's just something about it. This story is also very simple in its premise. There is a pandemic, and imagine this book, I read it when I was a kid, so I read it in the late 70s, 80s, but in this storyline, there is a very fast-acting global pandemic, and it kills off 99.9999% of the population, and like the whole West Coast is down to like 70 people. And it is told from the point of view of a particular character named Isherwood, and it goes from him being 27 years old all the way through him being 77. So you see what happens after. And this is not like some of the modern stuff we get, like Walking Dead, where there's a lot of vicious, over-the-top villains. This really is Earth taking back over, nature taking back over, and everything that people have to deal with, like in a very practical sense. No running water, no electricity, how do you deal? So it's a lot of that day-to-day survival stuff, weather, all that stuff. So those are my pop culture recommendations. If you had any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Substitute Archangel wants to know, what are your top 3 metal bands?
Oh, top 3 metal bands. Well, pretty easy. I'd have to say I'm going to go to the new age of British heavy metal and let you know that I've been a devout Judas Priest fan since 1977. I have seen Judas Priest the most of any band, probably in excess of 40 times at this point, so Priest gets number 1. Man, it's hard to then start ranking them. That's difficult. Other bands that do come to mind in the area would be, again, new age of British heavy metal. I'll say Megadeth. Let's go Megadeth next. And probably because of the punk, metal, edgy ethos. And then it's so difficult. And there's so much, right? For a number 3, let's go new. So for a newer, maybe, it's so difficult. I mean, who else would be? Obviously, we're going to consider Pantera. Metallica, just for the sheer longevity and the breadth of their catalog. I don't even know if you call Led Zeppelin metal. Gosh, this is a very difficult question. On the newer material, last 30 years, 20 years, 30, Lamb of God, really stokable stuff. So those are some.
Matt wants to know, did you catch Nosferatu?
Matt S., I believe it or not, have not yet caught Nosferatu. It just hasn't timed out just yet. But have you seen it? Did you like it? Anybody else?
I, the watcher, wants to know, who do you think is Hellwitch's best lover?
I would have to say that currently, Hellwitch's best lover is Nikita. I think it actually is the love of her life. We've seen, she has very bad luck and a lot of tragedy in her life, but I would have to say Nikita.
Dave wants to know, if you could have 3 superpowers, which would you choose?
3 superpowers: flight, invulnerability, and ability to alter matter.
Black Anime wants to know, is it true that there was supposed to be a Lady Death in Crow crossover?
It is true. So there was supposed to be a Lady Death and Crow crossover, and this was in 2002. But unfortunately, Coffin Comics declared bankruptcy, and that prevented it from happening. But yeah, there was actually a deal set. It's true. The script is written. Many of the covers were done. They were quite gorgeous. It had James's blessing. So yeah.
Questions coming here. Are you going to see the new Captain America movie?
Am I going to see the new Captain America movie? Don't you know that is my Valentine's Day date with my wife? Of course I'm seeing the new Captain America movie. It's on a Friday. I'm stoked. I'm waiting. I'm counting it down. In fact, we're having our Valentine's Day dinner celebration the night before just to clear it all out so we can go see the new Cap film. Heck yeah.
Angelo says, hey Brian, Coffin, excited for Coffin launch?
Coffin launch. Coffin launch, everybody. Have you signed up? Have you RSVP'd? It's the whole new thing. What we're promising you with Coffin launch is a smoother transactions, better pricing. I am excited too. Why are you excited for Coffin launch? You tell me.
Mike wants to know, is it true Mike Harris from Sky High Comics is the coolest retailer ever?
Mike, I think that's absolutely true. You are in the rare pantheon of coolest retailers. Heck yeah.
Hell yes, I RSVP, says Nathan. Yep.
Thank you.
See who else.
I mean, while talking about Coffin Launch, at the very least, we've already said that everyone who backs our campaign in the first 24 hours is getting a free full-color Citadel coin. This coin is 1.75 inches. It features artwork by Mike Crome and Diego Bernard, and it's free to all physical backers. That means non-digital. So, at the very least, jump on board for that reason and that reason alone.
Says, I like the clean, simple setup. Coffin Launch thus far.
Thank you. Yeah, I think you're going to find it's really clean. In fact, today being Thursday, next Thursday, we'd like to do a digital. We're going to kind of open up the gates and let everybody kind of start previewing the actual campaign itself. And we're also going to do a digital review where we kind of walk through it. And I think you're going to find it to be infinitely simpler.
Matt wants to know, are you going to have an exclusive for Emerald City Comic Con? Can't wait to see you there.
Matt, I'm excited to go to Emerald City Comic Con. I have not been there in 5 years. I'm really stoked. Not only will I be bringing a series of Emerald-themed exclusives that are cool, I have reimagined some classics in an Emerald style, and I have this very special offer to anyone. If you intend to attend Emerald City Comic Con and you have a want list of items that you've always wanted from Coffin Comics, maybe some hard to find stuff, send your list to inquiries@coffincomics.com and I will do my best to bring them for you. I will actually put your name on it, I'll hold it, and when we see each other, offer you the goods and see if it's something you want. No pressure.
I've got time for one more question here. What's this one? Ooh, hold on. Knowing the character arc of Lady Death, do you think that Lady Death and Evil Ernie would be on the same side today?
You know, what's fun about writing those characters, if you take a look at the history, is there are times where they're together and they're aligned. And then there are times where they're against each other. You know, if Evil Ernie's agenda was to continue to massacre the living in today's continuity, which is currently set in the present, I think Lady Death would have to oppose him. I think she would have to oppose him. Yeah. So, controversial opinion. Folks, we're going to leave it at that. I want to thank you so much for attending Hanging with Brian, which is a program of the Coffin Comics Sworn Club. And don't go too far, because something kind of cool might be happening in the next couple of minutes. Thank you so much. You've been so great. I've been Brian Pulido. Holler at you later.